City boy, city boy.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy, Nate the Great, back with another video. And you know we gotta go ahead and do a Friday Night Smackdown review. And let me tell you something, man. Let me tell you something. Outside of the tribute to Hulk Hogan this evening, this show was completely 100% unwatchable, lazy, garbage, slop. It was unwatchable, man. This show on a week-to-week basis is getting harder and harder and harder to watch. I'm sure you guys can hear it in my voice on a week-to-week basis. I'm sure you guys can, you can see that the spark is dying. It's dying because what the fuck? How am I supposed to get excited? How am I supposed to break down these shows when there's nothing to break down? It's the same problems week after week after week after week. That's never addressed. We get the same people, the same motherfuckers that we see on the TV screen. All right, we have to see Andrade every week, even though he's not over. Rey Fenix, just because he's new. Now we're gonna have to see the Wyatt Six, not in any storylines or anything like that. Not cutting promos or being involved in some kind of dialogue with the other characters that are backstage and things like that. No, none of that. We have to see them in 50-50 matches with Rey Fenix and Andrade. Unnamed Hispanic tag teams. That's what we have to do. That's what we have to sit here and watch, because Triple H has no idea how to actually generate interest, and maybe he just doesn't care enough to try to generate interest in his tag team division. Even though this was the main event tonight, yes, you heard me correctly. The Wyatt Six versus Andrade and Rey Fenix for the World Tag Team Champions, or the WWE Tag Team Champions, or whichever ones they are. I don't give a shit. All right. For some reason, this was the main event tonight. Cody Rhodes was on the show tonight, and Cody Rhodes did not wrestle. Cody Rhodes came out to cut a garbage promo, but he did not wrestle. This is what I mean when I say that these shows, it's like they don't even try. Have Cody Rhodes squash somebody in a main event and have that lead into some part of the story. Something. Give me something. Have Cody Rhodes do something. You want him to be the quarterback and all this extra shit? You want me to believe in this man as a WWE champion? Then why isn't he out here fucking defending his honor as a man? Why isn't he standing on business? Why is he sitting here in a fucking tracksuit talking about, I want to fight the real John Cena? I want John Cena to wear his championship the right way. What in the shit am I watching? Seriously, I on a week-to-week basis, I try my damnedest. I try my hardest to sit here and be engaged with this show. But it's so fucking hard when there's nothing engaging happening. Nothing. There are no main eventers on this show. Triple H has Drew McIntyre looking like a fucking Scottish NPC. Drew McIntyre coming out all oiled up and shit, ripping off his shirt, no words spoken, to threaten Jelly Roll, man. Jelly Roll. Logan Paul is the star of this group. I mean, he is, right? I mean, he is, if we're being honest. But seriously, Drew McIntyre, he has nothing to say. Why is Drew McIntyre even in this fucking feud, man? This makes no sense. He came back, got RKO'd by Randy Orton, and now he's fighting with Logan Paul against Jelly Roll and Randy Orton at SummerSlam. This is the storytelling of WWE. This is Triple H's big brain at work. I'm telling you, Shakespeare couldn't have written a better script. All right. Drew McIntyre, after getting concertoed in the middle of a steel cage match at Saturday night's main event and getting written off TV, right? After that, he comes back and what does he do? He gets RKO'd by Randy Orton, and that leads into a tag team match where he's going to tag team with Logan Paul for absolutely no reason. It's never going to be explained, not even in the slightest, of why they decide that they're just going to tag team and why they decided that they're just going to go together for a little bit now. There's no reason. We're just not going to explain it at all. And from there, we get Drew McIntyre teaming up with Logan Paul against fucking Jelly Roll and Randy Orton. This it's so tough at this point, man. It's so hard. This show is so disengaging, man. We can jump into the review. We can run this show down. That's what we're going to go ahead and do. But I just had to start this off by saying, like, man, this show, like I said, outside of the tribute, because the tribute was, it was well done enough. But this show was so fucking tough to get through because of how little effort is being put into it. I have to put effort into actually watch this show. I put more effort into watching this show and trying to watch this show than I feel like Triple H does in actually booking this show. With that being said, let's go ahead and jump into it. Comment down below. Let me know what y'all think of the show, and then let's jump into the video. Okay, so we start off, like I said, with the Hulk Hogan tribute. It was well done enough. Triple H is the one speaking, tells everybody, pretty much what happened. Lost an icon, lost one of the greatest of all time, the greatest of all time, right? And he passed at 71. All this, they play a nice tribute video for him. It's like a nice 5 or 6 minute video or whatever. And then after this, we go to commercial, and then we come back to Logan Paul coming out, because Logan Paul, they're in Cincinnati tonight. They're in Ohio, so Logan Paul has to be there. And the same with another Cincinnati or Ohio native, I should say, which we'll get into later. Logan Paul comes out. He does the same thing that he does pretty much every time he comes out. He talks his shit. Saying that he made it out of Ohio, he's better than everybody there and all that stuff. It's a decent shtick. It's just, can we get something else, right? Can we get something else? But anyways, he's talking his shit, and then he starts to say, because the whole thing is set up as if this is Impulsive Live, right? This is he's throwing a live show, a live rendition of the Impulsive show, and his guest is going to be Jelly Roll. So he starts to call out Jelly Roll, and Jelly Roll just interrupts him, comes out with, I forget what song was playing, but it was some country song, and he comes out, and what I will say about this, because this segment was god awful, but what I will say about this is that at least Jelly Roll is trying. All right, I'll give him that. So that's me being fair right there. I can see Jelly Roll is trying. I can see Jelly Roll really sat there and he really memorized his lines. He really wanted to know what he was going to say. He didn't want to fumble any words, and he didn't. He didn't fumble any words. He said exactly what he came out to say. He called Logan Paul a bitch and all that stuff, a punk ass bitch. Says that he's there to inspire the millions and let everybody know that if you have a dream, you can do it, and all this gay shit, right? So it is what it is, right? He came out there, he said what he had to say, but that doesn't take away from the fact that this is just bad television. This is just awful television. You got this guy shaped like Jelly Roll, okay? This guy, and he's beating up on a Logan Paul, right? Because they're going back and forth for a little bit, and then Drew McIntyre ends up sliding into the ring all oiled up and shit with a little skinny ass, flimsy ass muscle shirt on. He rips off the muscle shirt, and he's just standing there all buff and shiny and shit. And then Jelly Roll is like, oh, I know you boys didn't think I came here alone. Then he sings Randy Orton's theme song. I hear voices in my head. Like he actually sings the theme song, or sings at least that first part. And then Randy Orton's theme music hits. This was awful. This should never be done again. Ever again. Ever again. All right. So Randy Orton comes out. Randy Orton looks like he's about to say something because he has the microphone in his hand, but instead he just drops it and punches Drew McIntyre in the throat and starts to brawl. Jelly Roll starts to brawl up Logan Paul. He's whooping Logan Paul's ass up in the middle, in the corner of the ring, right? And the segment ends off with Jelly Roll hitting like the big boss man slam, right? A spinning big boss man slam to Logan Paul. It was decently done, right? I think it was really I think it was pretty good for, his first really big move on national television or whatever. Jelly Roll did a good job in this segment as far as, him memorizing his lines, him knowing where he was supposed to be with his spots, this, that, and the other. He did a great job. All right. I'm not going to sit here and shit on Jelly Roll personally because I don't know Jelly Roll. All right. My only thing is I don't find Jelly Roll entertaining. And the fact that Jelly Roll is shaped like Jelly Roll is shaped, and he's beating up on Logan Paul, who is fucking jacked out of his mind. Like, obviously standing next to Drew McIntyre, Logan Paul looks small, but Logan Paul is fucking huge, and he was looking huge in this promo that he was cutting. So the fact that you got Jelly Roll beating him up and just this whole thing, man, there's no creativity to it, man. It's just, I can't get into it, man. I can't do it, man. So we go ahead, we move on to the next thing. It was like a vignette between Andrade and Phoenix. All right, they just said "we are money" and said some stuff in Spanish, and then they said "we are money" again, and we move the fuck on. All right, and then we get Alexa Bliss versus Roxanne Perez up next. All right, so this is like I said, they're low effort. Instead of a story, instead of some reason why Charlotte Flair could have an issue with the Judgment Day, or the Judgment Day could have an issue with Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss, right? Some reason that they can actually feud and then go for the tag team titles for something. Give us something. No. Charlotte goes and asks for a title. One week we get a match between two of them. The next week we get a match between another two of them. And then we're supposed to be excited for the tag team match when we've already seen all four of these people pretty much in the ring. Like, we've already seen it now. So who cares? Who wants to see this match at this point? We've seen the match already. We've seen what they can do against each other already. The adding the aspect of tagging in and out, it means nothing at this point because we've already seen it. So it is what it is. There's nothing to this at all. All right, there's some shenanigans, of course, in this match because obviously Raquel Rodriguez is out there, Charlotte Flair is out there playing cheerleader, and there's a lot of bullshit going on outside, and that eventually causes a distraction where Roxanne eventually picks up the win by roll up. I don't care about this for the reasons stated, so I'm moving on. Next up, we get an interview from Jade Cargill, I should say, where, Kathy Kelly, she just asks, how are you feeling? Right? It's the same shit every week. And then same shit, I swear, man. So Kathy Kelly, she's like, you're about to win the championship, or you're about to go, and fight for the championship. How are you feeling? I know I ask you this question every single week now, but we're going to see how you feel this week as well. So, Jade Cargill, she does her usual spiel, right? She says that she's a natural born champion, and she walks off. Chelsea Green comes up and she starts talking her shit. All right, she comes up with the Secret Service. She tells them to run off and go grab her some coffee and stuff like that and secure the perimeter or whatever. And then she just goes into the spiel about how she should have been the champion. She got screwed out of her match by Jade Cargill. Jade Cargill is so stupid and she's so dumb and all this. And Kathy Kelly the whole time, right? She's like, hey, Chelsea, because Jade Cargill, she eventually comes back while Chelsea's talking all this shit, and she's just standing right behind Chelsea as she's talking this shit. And Kathy's trying to warn her, like, yo, you know what I mean? You might want to chill out, you know what I'm saying? And then she's like, oh, she's right behind me, isn't she? She is. Chelsea Green, she looks back Jade Cargill snatches her ass up. She's like, all right, talking all that shit. Snatches her ass up, drags her out through the gorilla area into the arena, drags out a referee as well, right? Tells the referee to start the match, and then she starts to whoop Chelsea Green's ass. All right, but when I tell you that 90% of this match was behind a commercial break, I mean 90% of this match. The match the match barely started. Jade Cargill hits her with the little, scissor kick that she does. And then, Chelsea Green is out the ring. The Secret Service rushes down to the ring to be at her aid and whatever. And then we go to commercial. And then we come back. And we come back from commercial after like 5 minutes of commercials, right? And then Jade Cargill, she's just still whooping Chelsea Green's ass. Chelsea Green, she gets some kind of move, she gets some kind of advantage, some kind of upper hand. I forget what she does, but she starts to go into the unprettier. And then Jade Cargill turns that around and turns the unprettier around into the jaded. And then from there, she picks up the victory. She gets her ass whooped by the Secret Service after winning. And then Tiffany Stratton comes out for the save. They have a little stare down over the title and all that shit. Who cares? All right. I want to see Jade win the championship just because I don't want to see Tiffany as a champion anymore. She's had her run. It sucks. All right. It is what it is. Let's just move on and give Jade a terrible run now. And then we can move on to the next girl. Give her a terrible run. Because that's all we're doing at this point. We're just giving everybody terrible championship runs. So that was that. We move on. Next up, we get Alexa Bliss and Charlotte there backstage. Charlotte saying something about, how this can't happen at SummerSlam and all this. She's her tag team partner. She has her back and all that stuff. So, we see that they're getting closer and stuff like that. I just wish that there was a little bit more depth to this whole thing rather than a couple of, lines of dialogue backstage, 15 seconds of camera time so they can, flesh out their relationship a little bit more. But whatever, we move on. We get another Hogan tribute, talking about his 1983 match, I believe at WrestleMania 1, where he beat the Iron Sheik to become WWF champion. I think it was WWF champion. Might have been Triple WF champion. I don't remember at that time. But, to become the champion. And so, once again, that was nice to see. But whatever. He says... Cody Rhodes comes out, right? Cody Rhodes comes out in his tracksuit. Like I said, he doesn't have a match tonight. He just wants to come out and speak some words. He, talks about Hulk Hogan a little bit. Says that he was a great, says that, things might be complicated. People's feelings might be complicated, but there's no doubting the accomplishments and all that stuff. And I'm like, it's not complicated. All right. He's the GOAT. It is what it is. All right. But during this promo, Cody Rhodes just bores the crowd to absolute smithereens, man. Cody Rhodes comes out there. He says that he doesn't want to fight this John Cena. Cody Rhodes had the nerve to say he doesn't want to fight a man who didn't even want to take the fight in the first place. But let me just back this up really fast, okay? Let's just back it up a little bit. Remember last week, Cody Rhodes, when you beat the dog shit out of John Cena, put him through a table and all this extra shit, and then forced him to you forged John Cena's signature on this on the damn contract. You made him take that fight. You're talking about, I don't even want to fight somebody who didn't want to take the fight in the first place. You forced him to take that fight. And now you're talking about, I don't even want to fight him. I don't want to fight this John Cena. I want to fight the real John Cena. I want to fight the one that runs down to the ring. I want to fight the one that wears the championship the right way. I want to fight the one. Shut up, man. Shut up. What are you talking about right now, man? You want to face John Cena for what? Who cares? And he even tries to give a reason, but the reason isn't even a reason. He says he wants to know that the story that we've all been a part of, he wants to know that it was real. What does that mean? These are just words. These words mean nothing. Cody Rhodes is really just going out there and just blabbering, speaking absolute nonsense into the ether. Cody Rhodes says he wants to face the real John Cena for whatever that is, whatever that means. All right, this was a shit promo. Okay, it says you'll see John Cena at SummerSlam. Let's move the fuck on. All right, next up we get a promo from Jacob Fatu where, you know, he's just going in on Solo a little bit. You wanted to lock me up. You wanted to do this to me. All right, I ain't got no problem being in that cell with you. All right, yada I mean, I'm gonna dog walk your ass. Yada I mean. Yada I mean. You know what he does. The Miz actually comes in to his video promo that he's cutting and interrupts him, and he's like talking a bunch of shit. He's like, fuck, what did he say? He said something. He was basically saying, like, you know, you're a bitch for doing what you did to me. You put me on the, you know, put me out of commission for a couple of weeks. So I already talked to Nick Aldis, and I'm about to have a match with you right now. All right, because I'm the Miz and I'm back. All right. Then he slaps the shit out of Jacob Fatu. Okay. And then he walks off, gets ready for his match. We get, because first, of course, we get an advertisement before anything happens. Then we come back from the advertisement. We get a vignette, a little video package from Aleister Black, or between Aleister Black and Damian Priest, that absolutely nobody could possibly care about. Okay. Damian Priest is, like, mind you, Damian Priest is a former world champion. All right. Like, I think a lot of people tend to forget this because of how forgettable his title reign was, right? More forgettable than this night of SmackDown, to be honest with you. But he's a former world champion, and he's not even on the show. He's cutting a promo in a video package, and he's trying to talk about how he's from the streets and how he used to know a guy in the streets just like Aleister Black, and how he whooped his ass, and he's gonna whoop your ass too. Like, shit. No, you didn't. You didn't know anybody like that in the streets. You never fought nobody. You didn't whoop nobody's ass. You're bow-legged and pinch-a-toed, bro. We don't believe you. At least I don't believe you. I don't believe anybody that wears, I don't believe any man that wears eyeliner and gets extensions in his hair is a true badass. It's just not, I can't believe in you as a badass. But it is what it is. That's what we got, okay? We got this little video package, and it was, a mid to average video package. So that was that. We move on. Next up, we got The Miz versus Jacob Fatu after all that shit. And then, of course, the MFTs come out. They interrupt. This match ends in a DQ, I believe. And then Jimmy Uso comes out after the MFTs start whooping on Jacob. Jimmy Uso comes out with a fucking chair and just solos all of them, right? With that chair, just beats the shit out of everybody with the chair. And then they start getting the numbers advantage on him. And then Fatu comes in, and then he starts soloing everybody. Then Hikuleo, he hits or Tala Tonga, I should say. He hits a spear on Jacob Fatu. And then, they all start whooping on his ass. They whoop on Jimmy Uso's ass, right? They beat everybody. They beat him down. And then Solo Sikoa talks some shit to Jacob Fatu. You know, this is what you get for betraying me and all that stuff. And then we move on to the interview that happens with the Street Profits. Street Profits, they're backstage with B-Fab. And she just Kathy Kelly, I think it was, she just asked them once again, how do you guys feel? All right. And they're like, oh, well, you know, it's BS that we weren't even a part of the qualifying match, which it absolutely was. I don't understand how that logic works, but it is what it is. We're here right now. Okay. But they say they're going to get to the tag team championships regardless of what happens. DIY comes in, said that they dropped the ball. You know what I'm saying? They got the titles. They lost them. You know what I'm saying? And they suck and all this stuff. They have the plan. They have the master plan. They're going to save the tag team division. All this shit, you know, the normal stuff that we get on a week-to-week basis. Next up, we get Zelina Vega catching Julia up in the hallway talking about how she wants a match. Kiana James, remember her? Remember Kiana James, first round draft pick last year? You remember her? Not really. No, I don't. I barely did either. I was like, hold up, Kiana James? What? But Kiana James, she pops up out of nowhere and she says that she's basically going to be the new liaison, right? The new manager of Julia. She's going to be her mouthpiece from now on. So, you know, I was like, I mean, I don't know how this is going to work out. I don't really see the connection here, but we'll see what happens. I'll give it a chance is what I'm saying here, right? Because this segment was not good at all, but I'll give it a chance. I want to see how it kind of develops. I just want to see more of Kiana James because I was actually very interested in seeing what they were going to do with her when they brought her up in the first round of the draft last year. And then they just did absolutely nothing with her. They had her come out do a couple of promos with fucking or like backstage segments with Adam Pearce, and then just disappeared off of TV for a whole entire year plus. So like I said, we'll see what happens with her. I'm going to give it a chance. And we move on to the main event. We're already at the main event. The Wyatt Six go up against Andrade and Rey Fenix. And this match was 50-50 all the way to the end of it. All right, where the Wyatt Six end up losing by DQ because Eric Rowan came in and started attacking Rey Fenix and Andrade because they were about to win the match. All right, so I don't know if these guys are... I guess these guys are heels. All right, because they use, you know, heel tactics to do things and all this. I don't know. All right, the audience is cheering them every time they come out. So I don't know if you want them to be booed. I don't get it, but whatever. So this obviously leads to the same shit that we've been getting for the past like 6 weeks at this point. The entire tag team division coming out and trying to brawl with the Wyatt Six, and they're all brawling together, brawling each other, this, that, and the other. All right, the entirety of it. Nick Aldis comes out, says that he's tired of all this, you know, chaos and all this shit. So all the tag teams, they're going to be in a TLC ladder match at SummerSlam for the WWE Tag Team Championships. So that's what happens. That's kind of how the show goes off the air. They all continue to brawl, you know, and just chaos ensuing around the ring. And that's how the show goes off the air, man. Like I said, man, this show was completely forgettable. This show, like, it's the same thing every week. We had to see the same segment between Jimmy Uso and Jacob Fatu. It was the same segment, except this time the MFTs, they were on top. Alexa Bliss and Roxanne Perez. It's the same shit last week with Charlotte Flair and Raquel Rodriguez. We're just getting the same shit. It's the same shit, man. The same Jade Cargill promo that she's been cutting ever since she won the Queen of the Ring. The same thing, the same interview, the same exact question. Well, you just won the Queen of the Ring. You're about to be going to SummerSlam to fight Tiffany Stratton. How do you feel? It's the same damn question every single week. All right, it's the same shit. All we get is the same fucking shit week after week after week, and it is exhausting. It's exhausting. All right. Let me know what y'all thought about the show down in the comments below. Like and subscribe if you want to hear some more. I give this show a 2 out of 10. Nah, can't even do that. I'm going to give this show a 1 out of 10. This show was just completely trash, completely garbage. All right. The only reason why it's even getting a 1 and not a 0 because of how garbage it was is only because of the Hulk Hogan tribute. Got to give a little something for Hulk Hogan, okay? The GOAT of the wrestling industry. All right. Let me know what y'all thought down in the comments below. Like and subscribe if you want to hear some more. And this has been your boy, Nate the Great Black, with another video. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.